Hi, thank you for deciding to watch this video. In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to achieve a cascading dropdown on a SharePoint custom list using PowerApps as a form editing tool. Um, when I started my experiments with PowerApps, uh, I thought achieving a cascading dropdown is going to be a pretty straightforward affair. Um, but it looks like it is not, and we'll look at the reasons why I'm saying that. Although I should mention here that it is not as complicated as it is in InfoPath, but it is not as intuitive as Microsoft claims it to be. So let's jump right into it. What I have right here is a SharePoint custom list called data entry form. And right now I only have one column that says title, the default column that comes with every custom list. And before I create the additional columns and do the rest of it, I just want to show you the source list that I'm going to use for the cascaded drop down here. So I have a different list, again a custom list called states entities, where I have three different columns of single line of text listing down the different states and cities and pin codes. And the reason I've put a filter here is because I did not populate the pin code for all the cities. So I just wanted to show you how this one looks. Okay, now coming back to our list, I'm going to add three more columns here, and all three are going to be single line of text, and we will change the properties later on in PowerApps. So I'm going to call the first one as state and city, and the last one I'll just call it pin. And these three are saved now. All four of them are single line of text. So let me quickly try and modify the form in PowerApps using the option that says customize forms. So I just click on this, and it'll take some time, so I might forward it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is from this fields list, I'll just take care of the attachments part, and I will remove it because I don't need it. And the rest three columns that I created, which are appearing here as single line of text fields, I will change their property to allowed values. So that's going to change the text box to a drop down kind of a box. So let me do that for the rest of the two controls. All right, so now we have the three list converted to drop downs, but these drop downs right now, if I preview it to you, okay, I can't show you the form because it's in the edit mode. The default mode is the edit mode, so let me take care of that first. So I'm just going to change this to dot new, and now when I play this, it's going to show me these boxes here. So now you can see we do have the drop downs, but we don't have any values appearing there because we haven't taken care of that. All right, so I think the first thing we should be doing is we should be connecting this to this states and cities custom list. So I'm going to use the data connectors here. I'll select SharePoint from this list, and it's going to show me my test site here that I've created for this demo. And from that list, I'm going to select states and cities. All right, so now states and cities is added as one of the connections. Let me go back to the form, and the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to take care of the states bit here. So I'm going to select this drop down here, and if you notice, it automatically selected this data card value 6. And one thing I want to mention here is it's prudent to rename all your cards here so that it doesn't become utterly confusing for you later on or for someone else working on this. But for this demo, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to take care of fixing up the values here. So when I select this data card, before I make any changes to the items properties here, I'll have to unlock this card. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Once I unlock this, it is going to allow me to type a custom formula here. So I'm going to replace this parent.allowed values with a distinct formula, which is going to give me a list of states from the states and cities custom list that we just added. So when I do that and I click on this drop down, I see that it's giving me the value that I expected. So that's a good thing. And I can also try that. I can see that by pressing on this all button and checking this out. So looks okay, but these are not alphabetical in order. So I want to be a little bit nitpicky here, and I'll just sort this. So to do that, I'll just use the sort function or the sort command, and I'm going to point the sort function. I'm going to say, okay, so this is going to be my source, and the expression that I want to use is the result from this particular expression. So whatever is coming out of this distinct, I want to use that as the expression, and I want to sort this in ascending order. And now when I click on this drop down, you can see that this is sorted in ascending order. Okay, so now I have this particular drop down working as expected. Okay, but you'll notice this red box hovering here saying that it's not happy about something, and that's something that took me some time to understand and figure out why that was happening. To demonstrate that, I'll just publish this and go back to SharePoint and finish the rest of it later on, because I just want to show you one thing here. So now if I click on this new button, it's going to show me the form that I just published, and hopefully the state column would have the drop down that we just configured, right? So let's say I select a value here, and obviously I can't select anything here, and I just say entry 1 and I click on save. You'll see that the state value that I selected did not get saved, and that's what that red box was trying to tell us. So let me go back to PowerApps and show you what exactly is stopping it from saving the value. So when I click on this red box here and say edit the formula, the update section of the state data card 2 seems to make PowerApps unhappy. So let's see what's making it unhappy. Let's select the formula bar, and it's basically telling us that the value property of the selected property of the data card value 6 is not the correct thing to write. So we have to change that with result. So if I play this now, and obviously it's not, I can't show you the save action here, but what I can show you is the data card value 6.selected.result. If I click on this, it is showing me the state that I just had selected. All right, so now let's move on to the city dropdown, and before I make any changes to it, I have to unlock its property, and this time we are going to use this depends on option here that appears inside the properties window of the data card value 7, which is under the city data card 2. So we clicked on depends on, and we are basically asking it to match the value that is there in data card value 6. That's why it says here data card value 6 and then result. We want to match that with the state column in the states and the cities custom list that we had added, and we wanted to return the city value. Okay, so now if I play this for you, and if I select, let's say, Rajasthan, is going to show me the values from Rajasthan. Okay, and if we now go back to the items property of this data card value 7 here, we can see that it has applied this filter that is fetching us those results. And if we want, we can actually even sort this in alphabetical order. So let's try and do that. So I'll modify this formula. I'll just try sort, and I'll use this filter expression as the source for this, and I'll say I'm just going to use the city that is coming out of this expression, this filter expression here, and I want to sort it in ascending order. All right, so now you can see that the cities are listed in ascending order, and we can actually verify that using this play button here. So if I now select Tamil Nadu, I can see the cities inside Tamil Nadu are listed in alphabetical order. Okay, and even here you would see that red box telling you that it's not happy with something that we have written in the update, or maybe PowerApps automatically populated in the update property. So we are going to change that with dot selected dot city, which is going to give us whatever we selected here, and now that red box has gone away, so it is okay with the expression that we have written. Now let's apply the same, extend the same logic here. So I'll just unlock this data card right here for the pin drop down also. In here I'm going to say again depends on. This time I'm going to use the data card value 7, because that's the card that contains the city value. So I'll say data card value 7, and here I would say the city, and I want to match that with the city column of the states and the cities data SharePoint custom list, and I wanted to return the pin codes as a result. Yeah, so if we have done it correctly, and now if I select Telangana, you see the first values are getting automatically selected, but I'll just change it to show you. Okay, and one more thing, because we have multiple pin codes here, so we can see that Hyderabad is appearing multiple times, so we need to take care of that also. But before that, if I change it to, let's say, Karimnagar, you would see that a different set of pin numbers are appearing here. Let me fix this problem of it showing you Hyderabad thrice, because I think we'll have to put a unique before this sort. So we are going to write a distinct code. So we're going to precede this distinct filter with a distinct function. So we'll write distinct, and we are going to use the filter as the expression and the city coming out of it as the input for distinct. So now it should give us all the cities in a non-repeated fashion. So you see Hyderabad is listed thrice here, but now in this list you will see Hyderabad only listed once. And let's now again apply the sort function, precede this distinct function with the sort function. So we are going to apply the sort to this expression, this distinct expression, and we are going to use the result from this previous distinct function, and we are going to sort it in ascending order. Yeah. So now if I play this and if I select Karimnagar, I don't see anything in the pin here because I must have broken something when I updated the formula here. So let me first fix this formula. So it should not be .ct, it should be .result because I've applied that expression, and this one right here should be .result because we've used an expression. Yeah, so now if I play this, if I change it to, okay, let's say I change it back to Hyderabad, I can see these three here. If I change it back to Karimnagar, I can see the 3 pin codes specific to Karimnagar, and none of the cities are being repeated here in this list. Alright, so this seems to be working. The only thing that's left to be fixed now is this formula right here. So this should so the update here for the pin should be changed to dot should be dot pin code, which will give us 500501, which is what we selected here. So now it looks okay, and this PowerApps is not giving me any red boxes anymore, so I think I've not broken anything now. Let me publish this and let's see if it works on the form. So now I'm going to create a new entry. Clicking on this new button here, I'll just say entry 2, select a state, which is Telangana. Okay, I think it's trying to fetch the city specific to Telangana. I think I'm having some network issues here. Let me try it again. Let me refresh this once. Okay, clicking on the new button here, selecting a state, and yeah, looks like it worked. Maybe it took one more refresh for it to take effect. I'll select Karimnagar, I'll select a different pin code, and I'll say entry, I'll say entry 2, click on save, and all the 3 are now reflecting, the selections are reflecting here. Okay, awesome. So I think that's about it for this video. Again, thank you for deciding to watch it. If you liked it, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. I am planning a series of videos on PowerApps, Power Automate, and some bit of Python programming as well. That's it for today. Thank you so much and stay safe. Bye-bye.